Welcome back to Paradise. Let's start the trial. Well, to be honest, we're gonna start the start of the trial. There's quite a bit left, and the trial doesn't move terribly fast.
Show me your truth.
Basically, we're gonna be allowed to face each crime in turn and say who did them, at which point we will shoot them in the head. Now, in theory, the judge will actually judge us. In practice, the judge goes along with whatever we say.
Strange.
Carmelina has decided to get a start on the end of the island, probably because she's very, very worried. She's guilty of so many crimes, and she really would like to get rid of all of the evidence, aka the whole island, because the island is literally evidence. The only effect of this is that we won't be able to try everything twice. We'll have to, so it's each time we say that someone is guilty, we're going to have to prove that they are guilty. There's no take-backsies.
This is nonsense. Are you fucking kidding me?
So people are saying that Henry is guilty. He's not.
Paradise feels.
But we're going to go ahead and just take a quick little look here.
And justice.
So we're supposed to talk to all of these criminals to, make sure that everyone is on the same page, and we might as well do that. We might as well talk about who they are, what they did, and all that, how they fit into the game. Here is Crimson Acid. Crimson Acid is one of the very few guiltless people in the island. She did do some things. She stole a couple of things here and there, but she didn't actually kill anybody, and she didn't have anything to do with either conspiracy, so she's basically innocent. We can still get her killed if we want, but I don't know why we would. We're going to go ahead and just let her live. Her history is that she was a soldier, and at some point I think Island 19, she successfully defended the council when Akiko failed to. And after that, some god came down and stamped a new head on her. And since then, she's been the idol, and she hates being the idol. She wants to be literally anything else. So her driving force is a dissatisfaction with how things are, even though she theoretically has it quite good. And her role in the game is a secret broker, and she also serves to remind us that even someone who's popular and in power on the island is still pretty miserable. Over here we've got Doom Jazz. If you prosecute me, will I get conjugal visits? Sorry, Doc, the punishment for this crime is going to make that difficult, because we're going to shoot anybody we want to shoot. However, your only crime is breaking the back door of your building and falsifying birth records, so I don't think you're going to get yourself killed. His role in the game is a doctor. He serves to give us a couple of hints here and there. He does help to humanize things a little bit because he is very human. He's big into music and sex and recreation. He's in love with someone, Akiko to be exact. He's very, very loyal to his friends. So despite the fact that he's covered in skulls and has metal arms, he is a very human character. All of the people on this side of the courtroom exist to humanize the islands. Here we've got Red Herring, Henry Division. He's not guilty. Unfortunately, him not being guilty doesn't change the fact that he's going to die, because the island is going to die and he's not immortal. So he'll get to enjoy his innocence for a little while and then he dies. His role as Red Herring is particularly egregious because you can't talk to him except on a really, really distant island, and you have to trek your ass out to that island like 5 times. It's really annoying. Here we've got the Daybreaks. Both of these characters act to humanize the island. Lydia is very human. She paints and has her own perfume and likes specific teas and does her laundry and drives a car. She exists to be human. Sam also exists to be human. But his whole point is that he's actually a red skeleton, so you know that if a red skeleton guy can be human, then anybody can be human. And that's their role in this game. They are, in fact, guilty. We could kill them, but there's no reason to. They're our buddies, and their crime is pretty minimal, which we'll talk about when we get to it. So, just so you realize, this person, the red herring, also humanizes the island because he's committed no... Well, he did kill somebody, but he certainly didn't do it recently. He's certainly not guilty of the things that they say he's guilty of, and they set him up for it. So it's like he's also humanizing things because he's angry and he hates everything and he doesn't know what's going on. And that's very human. Over here, we've got the baddies. Everybody on this side is gonna die. So first we got Witness to the End.
The gods are displeased.
Witness to the End exists to tell you more about what it means to be religious in this game world, because nobody in here is religious except Witness to the End, and he is hyper religious. He gives us an annoying plant to take care of, because the more annoying the plant is, the more the more dedicated we are, the more our devotion shows. And he's big into worshiping the gods, and as much as he tried very, very hard to kill the council, but he didn't quite manage it, because the demon he set up to do the job wasn't the only killer in there, and in fact, Montserrat shot the demon through the head pretty much instantly. So, even though he tried very hard to kill the council, he didn't manage it. He's probably going to have to die. He's the mastermind of that particular conspiracy. Now, he had help. He promised to get the Daybreaks out of this cycle of islands if they would help him. So in theory, we could kill the Daybreaks off as well. I really don't think we'll do that. We're gonna shove all of the blame onto you, Witness. Yuri Knight was working very closely with Carmelina, did most of her dirty work. He's kind of a shithead. And that's his role in the game, to show that humans will be humans. Even when they're immortal, you still get incompetent, full of yourself assholes. Over here we got Akiko. Akiko's role in the game is a little bit disappointing because she's such an important figure on the island, but in terms of how she fits into the crime, she did one thing near the beginning and that's it. It's not really something that I think was pulled off particularly well compared to the other characters. What's worse is that the thing she did near the beginning really should have been explained at the beginning. But she's off on an island in the middle of nowhere, so in order to find her, you have to go trekking all around, and eventually you stumble across her, and by the time you reach her, you already know that the stuff she's been doing is just bullshit. So it's a little bit of a disappointment that she couldn't play her role in making the red herring really pop, because by the time you get to her, you already know the red herring is definitely not guilty. Lastly, but certainly not leastly, Carmelina. Definitely my favorite character design in this game. Oh, I forgot to actually... You actually have to talk to them in order to wrap it up. I forgot about that. Carmelina. My favorite character design. I don't know if she's my favorite character, but her role is very, very important. She's the one behind everything, and she has a lot of similarities to us. You see, she hasn't been able to get on the council because her father was seduced by a god, very similar to how we were seduced by a god and then banished for 3 million days. But instead of sitting on top of a giant pole in the middle of nowhere, Carmelina has been working and working and working, and now she's on top of the world. She's designed the perfect island. She's done a whole bunch of stuff to set herself up as king. She's ready to roll forward with all of the cops under her belt, and she's on top. She is ready. She's just the best. It's a shame that we're gonna have to kill her. To be honest, it's almost tempting to let it all fly and just pile it all on Henry, because it's not like what they've done is particularly bad compared to all of the other things they've done, right? And there are a bunch of different endings you can get, so it's worth considering whether or not you want to do it a couple of times. And I think we are going to do it a couple of times, but awkwardly, I don't think we're going to do it at all in this episode. We're going to go ahead and leave this episode as just that. And in the next episode, we're actually going to do the trial for once. I don't know if we'll make it through the whole thing. It's a bit long. We'll see. See ya.